and welcome to Zhengzhou Unchained. It's been a while since we've done a podcast, but we've been quite busy with various things. Firstly, that being Christmas, which was a bit strange, wasn't it, guys?
Very.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't the best day.
But given the circumstances, I think we made the most out of the day. I think, although you and Tom worked half a day, me and Beth worked almost a full day. We got to leave.
You worked an hour more than us.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no.
We had to go back in.
That made a difference because
we had to go back in.
We couldn't keep in our pajamas for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that is true.
We finished officially at 11:30, whereas they could come home, and then they had the stress of going back again for another hour, for the sake of an hour. So
I know, and they just were relentless, weren't they? Like your school wouldn't. They just refused to give you that hour.
We had we had a massive hoo-ha with Christmas Day, and then the fact that they were giving us an hour and 40 minutes off the end of the day was like their compromise. I was like, wow, thank us, we're giving you this. And so at the end, we just had to take it.
Yeah, we did.
It wasn't too bad, actually. Like,
it was fine. To be fair,
back just for an hour, the kids loved the activities that I did with them, and
same.
So yeah, it was all right.
We got each other some cracking presents.
We did. Yeah. We all did really well for each other's Christmas presents.
Yeah.
We got some good stuff. We made the most of it. We had a good day. The lunch was fantastic, made by Amy. It was really, really good. Those prawns, banging.
I mean, they were frozen. All I did was just fry them. But
I don't care.
Well, they did fry deep fry them. It was good. It was good.
Great.
And then
culture, which means delicious. That's your word of the day, guys.
Yeah, there you go. Learn Chinese with Zhengzhou Unchained.
What number is this? Is this 6? Number 6? The
Probably.
podcast? I think it's number 6.
I think so.
I think it's number 6.
Be funny if it's not.
No, because the music one was number 5. Yeah.
We should do a word of the day. Anyway, and then we went out to one of our favourite places to eat on the evening of Christmas.
That was probably the most disappointing.
It was terrible.
It was. I wouldn't
because
say it was terrible.
They did like this set menu thing for Christmas, and it was obviously an American version of Christmas, but it was weird.
I think it would have been better.
Yours was way better because you're a vegetarian, and they
yes and no, because they couldn't really accommodate for me, even though I did ask like a week before, are you doing anything different for vegetarians? Because I could eat almost everything apart from they had turkey, and I think it was just the turkey, and they didn't. And all I said was, right, fine, if you don't have anything different, I'll just have more veg. But that just didn't seem to fly when we got there. They didn't really the waiter was like, what? And then just went to go and get Zach, and then Zach came over and was like, you can have a quesadilla if you want, which I have every time I go pretty much. But actually it went quite well. But I think it was disappointing as well because everyone, and not to sound, rude or anything, but when we walked past Zach's on Thanksgiving, it was full of Americans or full of Western people. They had a big buffet line. Everyone was filling their plates with food. When we went on Christmas Day, I think we were the only Western people.
It was packed full of
Chinese people.
Yeah.
We were lucky because when we walked in, she was like, oh, have you booked? Like, we're really busy.
Yeah.
And it would feel so unfair if we hadn't have booked and they said, oh, no, we can't. There's too many people here.
Yeah.
But I think they had something on the 24th as well, so maybe they celebrated. Maybe it was busy for Christmas Eve. I don't know.
I don't know why Chinese people would care about going for Christmas dinner. Like
they just love
dinner, did they?
They just love the idea of Christmas. Like if you go shopping around Christmas, it's just Christmas music, way more over the top than in the UK, like decorations wise. Like every mall would have a massive, I don't know, like display of Christmas cheer.
Since November as well, wasn't it? Which I think is even a little bit early for England.
You'd expect nothing. They don't celebrate Christmas, give us nothing. But because they've got all of these displays and the Christmas music, it's quite depressing in a sense, really. Because they acknowledge it, but they don't give us anything.
Especially when your own bosses are telling you that, like, China wants to cut back on foreign holidays and wants everything to be really traditional, and that we're almost racist for wanting to celebrate Christmas. It's just a bit of a kick in the teeth to be told that when you're walking around and like everything's just covered in.
Yeah. They want their cake and to eat it as well. They want all the cutesiness, and they want all, like, some of my kids at kindergarten had Christmas jumpers and stuff
mine
like
still
that.
do have theirs on. I'm like,
Really?
Christmas is over, Andrew.
Yeah, mine was saying Merry Christmas and everything as well.
Yeah. Merry
Wow.
Chrysler.
Merry
Crazy.
Merry Crisis.
Merry
Yeah.
Chrysler.
But yeah, Christmas was fine.
I had a lot of fun at lunchtime. Opening our presents was really fun.
Yeah.
Lunch was great.
The lunch was great. Evening was okay. I always just like getting dressed up and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
putting
It
your
feels
new-
nice.
We played some games, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nicer than just
yeah.
a normal
Just
day.
giving, it was nice. It was better than just giving in to to do nothing and just stay in the flat. So I'm glad we made the most of it. But
But New Year,
Yeah,
let's
New-
talk about that.
which
New
we
Year
did,
was
and we
fantastic.
had time off for this. We had, well,
We had to work a Saturday to make up for having the Tuesday off, which is New Year's Day.
Yeah,
But we had the Sunday off. Well, as a weekend.
yeah.
And then obviously
Monday
New
and
Year's
Tuesday.
Eve day off and New Year's Day, and we decided to go to Beijing or Beijing.
Beijing. Yes.
And it was fantastic. It was amazing. It was the best trip we've had so far. Yeah, it was just great.
All three. It was the best of the three we've done.
Yeah.
Or
Where else did we go?
Hong Kong.
Well, we went together for Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Hong Kong, Kaifeng, Luoyang.
Oh yeah, I preferred Beijing to Hong Kong, which is a bit of a stretch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so did I.
most
Did
definitely.
you?
We had
Yeah,
enough time
absolutely.
to appreciate it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
me
good.
too.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Day one, let's talk through.
Day one was the best
one.
day in my opinion.
Well, we went after work.
Yes.
We worked.
Oh, yeah,
and then we
so-
travelled.
Getting the train was actually surprisingly easy.
That was.
It's
great.
I ended up
love
having to
getting
book the train tickets because boys are actually
Idiots.
friggin' doofuses.
And we have no idea how to use modern technology.
Yeah,
But now I think about it, nobody checked if Beth was a child.
We didn't, did they? Yeah, but
Just a
how
bit of
do we- how
background.
do we know-
Tom accidentally booked Beth's ticket as a child's ticket
And as
put
a
my
male as
birthday
well.
wrong.
and as a boy.
And as a boy. No, Amy, you was a boy. Amy,
Oh,
Beth
I was a
girl.
boy, was
yeah,
I?
you was a boy.
Oh, I did not know that.
Still is.
They didn't really. They just checked to see if we were on the right train. I don't think they checked our because we all like swapped seats a bit, didn't we? But
Yeah.
anyway, it was relatively. It was like 60 quid round trip.
Yeah, it was good.
The Airbnb was like 123 quid for for 3 nights.
It was a lovely flat as
It was
well.
really
Really
nice,
cool.
really warm.
Very warm.
Which is important because Beijing was
and-
freezing.
And they all had soft mattresses, softer mattresses.
Yeah,
than
not
what we're
not
used
like
to.
English standard, but
Not-
yeah,
But that was
that was
the
great.
softest thing I slept on in
I didn't want to
4.5
leave it. I
months.
did not want to leave
It
that.
was
I did not wanna
so
leave it.
nice. I would have taken that mattress with me and left all my clothes if I could, but
So-
Wayne knows how to live.
she does.
Strangely enough, I'm enjoying the hard mattress now.
You're
Yeah.
not.
I'm used to it.
Hard
I
mattress.
wake up every morning and my hips are dead. Like
I sleep on my
yeah.
front there, so it's alright for me.
I'm used
You
to
can't
it.
do that when you got boobs.
I'm used to it, but that 3 nights in Beijing was just glorious.
It was good.
Glorious because I wake up with a dead arm every morning.
So on the Saturday night we arrived, we finished work at like 4, half 4. You guys finished at what, 5?
10 to 5.
Yeah,
And
with
then-
a stressful car journey to this.
Yeah,
That
we
was
thought
so
we were going to
funny.
miss it. And the taxi, so if you book a more expensive taxi in China, for some reason they're really slow.
Because I don't want to scratch the car.
I think, yeah, that must be it.
And
So
you have to pay more.
yeah, and you have to pay more. So we got one of those taxis because the other ones weren't available, and it was torturous. Even though we told him we were going to be late, we have to catch a train. He was like, "Oh, okay." And he just kept driving at the speed he was
To be fair,
driving.
there was
People
a-
were
there was-
overtaking us.
A
And,
van overtook us as well. I was like, "Oh, for God's sake!"
There was a lot of traffic to play devil's advocate, but he should have been going 90. So
Yeah,
he should have been
yeah.
going a lot faster.
Considering all the other green taxis are like friggin' rockets.
Yeah, but they don't care. They're so replaceable, those cars.
Anyway, we made the train.
We got to Beijing.
We got to Beijing. It was cold, but we got to the flat. And then Sunday rather, was, in my opinion, it was the best day.
Well,
We decided to go
we went to
the Olympic
the
Park.
Olympic Park, which was
And we decided to take the
Superb.
subway, and that was dead easy. What was it, like
40p.
40p? Yeah.
So
40p.
cheap, so dead there as well. And it was,
Mhm.
well, I mean, it was a little bit busy when you actually got on, but we got to sit down pretty much every time, and yeah, it was really good.
So then we arrived in the Olympic Park, straight into a Costa coffee, which was surreal. Surreal.
So pleased with that. My profile picture on Facebook is now me with a cup of tea.
Yeah, because it's an Earl Grey.
Yeah.
But there was Costa, there was Starbucks. If you went into the Beijing National Stadium, the Bird's Nest, there was a McDonald's there. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway,
Communist China, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so you walked into the main park.
It's huge. This
it's
is
massive.
obviously, but yeah, it's
And I think the first thing we went to was the Ice Cube, which is where they had the diving and swimming and stuff, which was really cool. I think that was like, what was that, £8 or something? £4?
Three.
Was it
to
three?
get in there, yeah.
Bird's Nest was 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was crazy. We could just sit in the entire thing, just watching these workers, like cover over the swimming pool, because I think it's going to be curling.
They were putting the curling rinks ready for 2020 Winter Olympic Games.
Isn't it 2022?
Yeah, sorry, 2022 Winter Olympic Games.
But they still had the old diving boards from 2008.
Yeah,
and they were all rusty.
They were pretty grim, weren't they?
Yeah,
because you showed a picture of what it was like at the time, and it looked glorious, and then everything was like tinted like.
Bit
I mean,
green.
it's 10 years old, isn't it?
And chlorine isn't the best.
No,
madness. But it was huge.
Yeah, and they converted.
It's now, I was just going to say that. Yeah, it's now most of the building is now a big water park, an indoor, like a big swimming pool. It's got loads of slides, and we were just kind of
it looked really cool.
People for a while. It was
and they had like a big TV screen as well,
watching.
They put like playing a movie, weren't they? Over the
open season.
Open season.
If it was over the hedge, I'd have stayed and watched the full thing.
Over the hedge was great.
I think the only time I watched Over the Hedge was on a plane, and I don't remember it apart from the turtle.
Oh, I've watched it so many times. It's great.
Tortoise. Sorry.
The cat's that Iranian comedian. Anyway, doesn't matter.
No, we're not talking about Over the Hedge.
There's a cat.
Yeah, he's the evil one in the house.
Yeah.
It's like outside animals versus inside animals.
What's he called?
Doesn't he accidentally
Don't
turn
ask
on
me
the...
what he's called when the only thing I remember about that film is the
the comedian who's Vanessa's Nessa's like on Gavin and Stacey, where she's looking over the crystal ball.
Omid Jalali.
Yeah, that's
Omid Jalali. Yeah.
That's such a
How
random...
do you remember that?
Why are we talking about this, guys?
We should be talking about Beijing.
Anyway.
I don't remember a cat. I'm sorry. Right.
Anyway,
it doesn't matter.
After the Ice Cube, we then made our way to the Bird's Nest.
Amazing.
Which was then they had the Olympic torch outside that we went round.
Yeah.
And then we went into the Bird's Nest, which was annoying because there was only one entrance. You had to walk all the way around to get outside and whatever.
Yeah.
We bought, how much was that? £8?
£8.
And
it
that
was £4 to get in just to the stadium.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to go on the top of the stadium and have a bird's eye view of Beijing, it was £8, which is nothing really, considering how good it was.
And I'm so glad we did that because it was so worth it.
Yeah.
We were basically walking up scaffolding at one point, weren't we? And then you were like, "Don't look down," and then I looked down, and
you could see
my
the
knees
seats
like buckled, like it was ridiculous. It was so high.
And then you get to the top, and
wow,
it was incredible. Like you have like a 360 view of the top, and you can go over to this like glass panel and look down at the stadium as well. And it was just, and they had like this weird. It was all snow, wasn't it? And they had like
in the middle.
some kids' day or something.
Yeah, it was like a winter wonderland type thing in the
which was cute.
So we couldn't see the tracks or anything.
You could see the start line for the 100 meters where.
If you go to our Instagrams, link in the description, you'll be able to see all of our photos.
Yes.
Although I've not posted mine yet, but I will.
Yeah, I'm posting mine today. Go to mine then.
Mine will be better. So just
But me and Ed went in the actual. It's 90,000 seater stadium. It's massive. It's bigger
you guys
than Wembley.
climbed to the top. Did you?
We went
all the way to the top seats.
The very top and the middle, as far into the middle as possible.
If you actually go onto my Instagram stories, highlight China 2 actually, you will see a video of me showing the whole stadium and then just zooming in on 2 tiny little specks that are waving.
My legs were jelly after that, but surprisingly how big the stadium is, there's not a bad view in there.
I was just going to say, do you think those people could even see Usain
Absolutely.
Bolt?
Oh, it was crazy.
Absolutely.
You could see everything. It was
mad.
Yeah, but there's little dots though.
No.
Do you know what? It seems surprisingly close.
I could see some dad swinging his daughter on a little donut ring on the ice.
Yeah.
And he fell over.
Yeah, he did.
So if I could see that, people watching from the very top would have been able to see Usain Bolt. Oh, there would have been.
It would have been expensive.
Hundreds and hundreds.
But like, I've been to Old Trafford and Wembley, and you cannot see anything from the top. It is so steep, whereas the Bird's Nest kind of just pans out.
It's nothing
gradual.
It's got nothing on the K-Com though, does it? I've been there like 4 times.
That's a great stadium.
What's that?
Not a bad view there.
Hull City Stadium.
Don't ask.
Should have assumed.
You should.
And then after that, we tried to go to the souvenir shop, didn't we? That was
the
most Chinese thing I've ever encountered.
Yeah. So basically, we saw the gift shop from inside of the stadium, and the only way.
And there were signs
it was
for
just
it
an
pointing
exit.
that way.
Yeah, there was signs for it and everything. So like, this is gonna be, we're just heading there.
Everything's in a circle, so you have to like go all the way. Like you have to walk all the way around.
And then you get to it, and then it was an exit only.
But
you couldn't enter it.
Clearly walk in it because it was just there wasn't like a machine or anything.
Yeah, it was just a man sat next to a turnstile, and he was like, no, go round. So we went round, which took about 10 minutes to get to, and then we entered in the wrong way. And then we had to go back out.
Yeah, so there's like a gate that surrounds the whole outside of the stadium. So we walked out to go to the outdoor shop, but there's a gate surrounding that as well. So you have to go outside of the gate and walk all the way around, even further round. And it was very annoying.
So Mum and Auntie Rachel, you better appreciate your magnets.
Yeah. Yeah, Ethan and Harry.
It was crazy though. Like, we could have just walked
Mum.
into the shop. No problem whatsoever. But the guy was like, no. The shop had 2 people in it. There was no security troubles whatsoever.
Let us in through this way. Like, what harm's it going to do? It's not like the buzzers are going to go off.
This way. I don't understand why they would have signed it.
The signs were probably weird. You probably could get into it from the side entrances back in 2008, but like they've closed it all off and filled it up with stock or boxes.
We got there eventually.
Yeah.
I can't remember what. I bought myself a mug.
Yes.
An official. Oh no, yeah, wasn't from that store, but it was from a different one. But yeah, I bought myself a mug.
And then
it was a good mug.
After that,
I just want to say, the best thing about I think the best thing about the view. No, later. That comes at the end of the podcast. The best thing about the view was being able to see the mountains from the top, and obviously that's where the Great Wall was. And unfortunately, the Great Wall is very far outside of Beijing. And if we had an extra day or 2, we would have definitely gone. But
it's like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long drive, and we only had 2 full days in Beijing. So, but yeah, it was so weird. It was so surreal being able to see mountainous regions from inside a city. It was very weird.
Yeah,
it was very weird, but it was amazing. The view was fantastic.
Just I remember watching the Olympics 10 years ago and in absolute awe of the stadium, everything that happened in there. It was such a big year. It was like the first one I properly remember. So to be stood in that stadium in China was pretty surreal.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was incredible. You could feel like, and they also had this like a really small exhibition of things that were used in like the opening and closing ceremonies, and that was the detail that had gone into all of the things that they used, like I don't know, drums or like wings that were attached to.
How many props would have been used? It's crazy.
I know.
Thousands.
That opening ceremony was. I just remember it being so. It's just insane. I mean, that was cool. And then ours was very good.
Ours was better.
it was less. Well, actually, you know what? It was probably about as weird. So.
Yeah, it was very good though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Danny Boyle did it.
Yes.
Yeah, he directed the opening ceremony.
I thought it was just a James Bond segment.
Really?
Yeah,
he did a pretty good job as well. Sorry.
Do you remember that little We Love the NHS bit?
Yeah. And they did the Great Ormond Street Hospital out of the light up beds. It had loads of like.
Yeah, and they had nurses and stuff.
It was so good.
See, I almost wish I watched that now, because I hate opening and closing ceremonies of any sport or thing like. I just find it for me. I just find it dull. I think I take after my dad. He finds that stuff incredibly dull and uninteresting. But he said,
the Olympic opening ceremony
when all the flags coming through, it's awesome.
Well, I'll make sure I watch 2020.
Skip through, like, once you see like a couple of cool countries, like that's not.
I like looking at the flags, man.
Well, yeah.
Tom knows all the flags.
I bet you play a game with yourself. It's like guess the flag name or guess the name of the country before it pops up on the screen.
Yeah.
But Burkina Faso.
I can't believe you didn't watch it, Ed.
Did you didn't watch it?
We just said.
I was googling if Danny Boyle directed it, and he did.
Did you watch the closing ceremony then?
No.
Which one was that?
That was the one where Russell Brand was sat on a bus and he was singing the Beatles or something like that. Danny Boyle didn't do that one, and it was weirder, and it wasn't quite as good, but it was still. It was very eccentric.
The Paralympics one was poor. It was just Coldplay and lots of different things on the side. They were just like, just put Coldplay on there. People will be happy. Yeah.
That's
I don't remember that, to be honest.
It was bad.
Anyway, after the bird's nest, we then right near the Olympic Park was the Museum of Science and Technology.
Yes. Oh, but before that.
So Beijing was absolutely freezing, colder than Zhengzhou.
-7.
Coldest that we've ever been.
Yeah, and
so cold.
Everything was frozen. All the lakes, rivers.
Before that.
Completely frozen.
Before that.
What was before that?
The people
my
singing.
god! I forgot.
That was the best.
So we needed a wee, and we had to like divert to the. It was weird. It was like a mall.
Yeah, an underground
in the middle of the
mall
park
that connected to the the tube station.
It was opposite. Yeah.
Videos are also on my Instagram stories.
But they've gone now, haven't they?
No, it's on
I've put it in
highlights of the year.
Oh right.
But yeah. So we were just walking to the mall and we heard this high pitched singing. So we get closer and closer and closer.
Yeah, play it.
And there was these like this guy playing. Was it an accordion?
An accordion.
Yeah, he was playing an accordion, and this guy orchestrating. I don't know, 50
like a
people.
choir.
More than that.
All singing.
It
was women on one side, men on the other, and he was orchestrating the women to sing, the men to sing, and then all to sing together. And they were really good singers.
It was wonderful.
And they were so fucking loud as well. Like we were stood behind the men, and the men were belting it out.
They were so proud. And then when they finished, they were like, "Hello," because they could see us.
Yeah, it was cute.
Okay, here's a small snippet.
Proper headbanger that.
And then the women, I think, was this one. I hope you guys can hear this. Anyway.
It was like genuinely goosebump material. Like
Getting them now.
Yeah.
Crazy. It was to be and we were stood really like in the middle of it, so everything was, and it was a nice enclosed little area, so everything kind of bounced off, and the sound was so loud.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was awesome.
It was just traditional Chinese. Well, it sounded like traditional Chinese music, and they were all just kind of unassuming looking. They looked sort of not poor, but they were just men and women in just like normal clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was. And then we didn't stay too long because
you needed the toilet.
And
they were like, "Oh, hello." We were like, "Okay." I feel like we were
very
maybe
good.
intruding.
I could have stayed there.
I could have stayed there for a long
Yeah.
time. They were really good, and I forgot what I was gonna say.
And then we made our way over to the China Museum.
And then you can talk about the frozen river.
So there was a completely frozen river, which was, I have never seen anything like that before. Like you hear people about, I go ice skating on the lake that freezes over in the winter.
Yeah,
whatever.
River Thames used to have a market on there when it frozen over. It was crazy. Like the pond at school had frozen over, and the kids were thrashing
stood on it, and thrashing their toys on it.
It would have been great if somebody fell through. But when we was on top of the bird's nest, we looked over, and we could see the river, and there was people on it, and we was, wow, crazy. So we had to go on it,
It
How'd
was.
it go?
I
Had a ride?
personally thought it was cool, but I was freaking out. I did not like it because you could
Especially
see
you
the
could-
entire river floor underneath.
Yeah.
I
And
was
there was a
just
few
like,
cracks,
oh.
wasn't there? And you was like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Well,
That's
just
just
to
because it
go
didn't-
ice
wasn't-
skating.
I was just
like,
going to say it wasn't helped by the fact that the cracks, there weren't cracks, but she was definitely like
making
carving some.
Funny if she made a hole and
Yeah.
it just fell through like in the movies.
Like in
A
Looney
hole around
Tunes.
the dance.
Yeah. Well, it was.
I really
crazy.
enjoyed it.
I thought it was
It was
fantastic.
fun.
It was. We got pictures on that on
Yeah.
our
Mm.
Instagrams as well.
Yeah.
Mhm. Link in the
Including mine, which has not been
description.
plugged yet.
Oh, what's your Instagram name?
Beth Rest.
They're all in the description. You
Yes,
can
they're
check
in
them
the
out.
description.
But yeah,
I'll check
we
them
can
out.
see the bird's nest in the distance on this frozen river. The sun shining down on it. It was.
yeah.
It was
Awesome.
marvellous.
Awesome.
It was. It was really nice.
And then we went to the museum, which was, in my opinion, a little disappointing. But
Well,
I think circumstances
Yeah,
were the
we,
reason.
we arrived at the museum at like 4:00 and it was closing in an hour. So we didn't have time to get round much of it.
Yeah.
But
Even so, I think it was very much aimed at
Children.
kids who it is like a
Certainly.
my first science museum kind
Yeah,
of
it
thing.
was
And
like-
also,
It was
it
still
wasn't.
cool, but
It was cool. Some of the stuff, as all the mirrors stuff, was cool, and but I think also it wasn't helped by the fact that everything was in Chinese, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not very much in
Mhm.
English that we could
Yeah.
read.
But we only went to what, 2 levels? I think it was
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
5, wasn't there? So
hmm.
it would have been cool. It would have been like London Science Museum, just
Yeah.
like that in effect.
and then
Oh
went
yes.
to-
This was the highlight, not the highlight of the day, but
it was
The
just a
second
great
capped
ending.
off the day lovely.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
went to this amazing Spanish tapas restaurant, not too far from our apartment. We went like straight there from the museum, and we had an insane amount of food.
But
And
we
it
ate
was-
it all.
We ate
ate
it all,
it all.
yeah, and it was just great.
Yeah, so
really,
there was
really good.
traditional paella in the middle, and then there was bravas patatas. There was
Patatas.
There was some squid, wasn't there?
Yeah, you had
Yeah,
your
there was
squid
some squid
rings.
rings.
Squid ring,
Your favourite.
calamari, and then we had some extra shrimp.
Shrimp.
Oh, that shrimp was good.
We
Yeah.
had nice toasty warm bread with pesto
Yes.
and
Oh.
tapenade. And,
I actually, yeah.
Ooh.
And
Pate.
pate.
Yeah.
Pate.
That
Oh,
was my
and then
That was a night of firsts for me because that was the first time I'd had pate.
you
Wow.
never had pate before.
No.
Did you like it?
It was quite nice actually. I didn't have the pesto, but I had the pate, and that was nice. And the paella was my first time, and I knew I was going to love it because I'm really like seafood for me right now is one of my favourites. Has been for a few months now. I just
And
could,
then
I could
we
smash
had
seafood all day long.
this strawberry mousse that had this like white chocolate dome, and then they poured some hot chocolate, and it just all melted, and that was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, you see
We
that
just
stuff
had-
on the TV, don't you?
And
And
then-
I've never had anything like that before.
And we had a Canadian waiter. He was
He's
Chinese.
from Halifax.
Chinese Canadian or something like that, and he was kind
Yeah.
of chatting to us. He was very friendly. I think
He was
he just
lovely.
wanted to
He was really nice, yeah.
show off his
Yeah, when he
English
said he was
a bit.
from Halifax, I was like,
What?
God, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good night, a good day.
We walked 20,000 steps that day,
Yeah,
so we were pretty knackered.
yeah.
It was
Went to bed,
great.
and then
Yeah, it was
did
just
it all over again the next day.
yeah. That first day was ace. It
Yeah,
was
it
really
was.
good. And then the second day, so we'd seen recent history. The first day,
And then we went back in
second
time.
day was a trip back in time, which was also fantastic as well.
That started
really
in
good.
Tiananmen Square,
Yes.
Yes.
and we missed Mao. We really wanted to see his dead body.
Well, it was closed anyway because it was a Monday.
Yeah, it was a Monday.
yeah,
yes,
but
yeah.
oh yeah, that's true. So it was only over from 9 till 12.
So-
But we did see a cat outside
Yeah.
his mausoleum, which, for people who don't know Chinese, Mao in Chinese
Like us.
means cat, and his name is Mao.
Yeah,
So
Funny
he's
that.
like the
Being
symbol
chairman-
of cats, and there was just this cat roaming around.
yeah.
Which is
Chairman
cool.
Mao Zedong.
Yeah,
His
and it's,
mausoleum
and there's
in
like
Tiananmen
four,
Square.
in Tiananmen Square there was like on each side of the square there was like 4 things. So on one side there was the Chinese museum,
Yeah,
the
National
Chinese
Museum.
National Museum. On the other, opposite the museum, there was a Great Hall or something like that.
Yeah.
Hall of Great People or something
Something
like that.
and
yeah.
then behind them was the mausoleum, which has Mao's dead body, and then opposite the mausoleum is the Forbidden City, which is where all the emperors used to live. Back in the Ming and Qing and Ding and Long and Fong dynasties, and made half of those up.
The Ming dynasty.
The Ming and Ling or Qing? Qing. Ming and Qing dynasties.
And Qing. This is the X one, Qing dynasty. Yeah. But I think if you had more time, it would probably take you to fully explore that whole area, probably about 4 days, like to do the museums, to do the mausoleum.
Oh, absolutely.
So we just kind of did Tiananmen Square because of
the history that's behind it.
And obviously there is nothing about like remembering the people that died there.
But there wouldn't be, would there?
No.
I think we should
not say anything else.
Yes.
Just leave that in there.
If you don't know about Tiananmen Square and what happened nearly 30 years ago, have a Google.
So then we walked through to the Forbidden City, went past Mao's big head, which was very cool.
Oh yes, it's
a
big
huge
portrait.
painting.
It's the biggest one in China, isn't it? Or biggest one ever.
I've heard something like that, but so when you stand far away from the grand entrance of the Forbidden City, you think it's going to be quite small, that picture of Mao. It looks small because you stood so far away, but when you stood like right underneath it,
it's like the size. It's like the size of a person, isn't it? But it's just his
much
head.
bigger.
It's bigger than his head. I think it was 15 meters, isn't it? Something like that.
There's about 3 of you, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah, it was massive. It was huge.
Yeah.
And everyone was just getting pictures. And
Yeah, it was quite. This one guy asked me to take professional photos of him. He had like a proper.
What a good stance.
He had a mega camera, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he asked me to take a few photos of him standing with Mao next to his head. It was just weird. It was.
But to them, Mao is their god.
Their deity.
He is. Yeah.
He took China from the lowest
Nothing.
of the lows to
what it is now.
Beyond greatness, really, and to them, for the Chinese, that he's done wondrous things for them.
Yes.
A lot of taxi, just not derailing too much, but a lot of taxi drivers, almost all of them, I think, will have a little symbol of him either dangling from their mirror or on their dash or whatever it is. Very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I also, this is a little off topic, I said to Tom, what do you think would happen if he threw an egg at the picture of Mao?
You'd probably get arrested for sure.
You'd be shot before it even hit him.
I think something like
you
that.
Arrested and possibly
firing
kicked out of
squad.
China, and you'd be blacklisted.
Firing squad.
I don't think you'd survive.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I
firing
don't.
squad.
No,
So
they wouldn't kill you.
Wasn't there
torture
a girl,
you at
like
least?
an American girl who was singing the Chinese national anthem or
She
something?
just got arrested. She just got arrested, and then 2 days later she got let out.
Could she? This was in China.
Mm-hmm. And she was Chinese.
It's a bit less severe.
Oh, she was Chinese. Oh, okay.
She danced to was it the national anthem wrong or something?
Yeah, that's what I
Wow.
heard.
She did her and they saw it as offensive. But anyway, getting off topic.
Yeah. So the Forbidden City is 400 years old, and for about 200 years of that, nobody was allowed in there unless the emperor of that time invited you in. And it's a massive, massive complex. So to think that only a few people were living there is crazy. But they have now opened it up to the public, and now they get millions of there every year. So
We had a look. It was like 15 million people go there every year.
Yeah. But it was
Visiting.
very cheap to go in there.
Yes, it was £4 to get in, and then we did the audio tour. Which
we only did the audio tour because we thought Roger Moore did the voiceover for it, because Tom told us that would happen.
It says it on the internet, but maybe since his death
But
they
it was
have removed
some
it.
woman.
I'm not sure.
But to be fair, she was incredibly informative. And
she knew it just off the top of her head.
Yeah, it was almost as if I walked to a certain place and then she'd read facts about that place.
Yeah,
it was weird.
It was like,
I was being tracked. Maybe I was.
I did enjoy the tour. It gave you just little nuggets every now and then when you was listening.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was interesting.
It was very interesting, and
the buildings the temples are
grand,
fantastic. They really
like we
are.
saw where isn't it like the newlyweds or something? Like the brides.
Yeah, when they go after marriage. Yeah.
Oh, it was surreal. Obviously, you can't go inside, so you had to wait a bit to get.
To nudge your way through the crowds.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there. Well, actually, to be fair, it would have been busier, probably in Spring Festival. I think we went at the right time.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we went at the only time, really, to be
And
for
the sun
us.
was setting as well, which was nice.
It was cute. So there is roughly 9,000 rooms in the Forbidden City, and there's probably hundreds of buildings. So to go through the full thing extensively would take
A whole day.
all day.
Mm.
Yes, and we did it in 3 hours.
We were there a long
Maybe-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one bit that annoyed me though, because there was nothing like, oh yeah, pay extra to be able to go here or whatever. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
we saw this sign for the Hall of Clocks and
Watches.
Clocks and Watches, and we were like, oh, that sounds quite interesting. So we were headed in that way, and then when we got to the ticket barrier, we thought it was just going to be a regular check, they check our passports and whatever. Then they said, oh no, you need a ticket for this area.
But everybody else was let in.
Yeah, it was
Well,
very strange.
Annoyingly though, there was a QR code, and that's how you pay for your ticket into the Forbidden City. So we tried to do that, but obviously everything was in Chinese, so we had to go to the box office, and I think they just gave us like a bog standard ticket. But
there
because we
wasn't an
can't read
option for anything
Chinese,
else.
maybe
Yeah,
there was with
yeah.
the QR code. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe. But I
But
think if
I
we
wasn't-
did all that, we would have been there for
we would have been
5
there.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even so, what we saw, and it was just fantastic, and also the gift shops were decent as well. And there was a gift shop every
Exit through the gift.
And that's where we
temple
used to
or
just
something
go
like
to
that.
warm up,
Yeah.
move on,
Yeah.
go in there a little bit.
Some of them was this was great. In one of the gift shops, before we decided to try and go to the Hall of Clocks and Watches, there were like these beautiful silk threads and paintings of like flowers and fish, very Chinese, very Oriental, and then underneath all of them was a picture of Donald and Melania Trump visiting the Forbidden City.
I don't remember that.
Because you weren't there.
Yeah. You walked off during the shop, and we would just happened to pass it, and this guy was trying to sell us it. He was like, "Oh, it is 30 quid, and now it's 15.
Was that the
do you want
long
it? Do you
one?
want it?" Yes.
Yeah.
The guy was like, "Do you know who this is?" And we were like, yeah.
Oh.
Blah,
I
blah,
asked-
blah. And then he was like, "Are you American?" And we were like,
No.
So I think he was trying to impress us by being like, "Look, your president has been here." And then we were just like, "Nah, we
Yeah.
don't.
No.
He's not ours."
No.
No.
And
Do not claim
he
it.
was only there
Not that we
what, a few
claim
months,
to even
a year
made, to be
ago?
honest. But
Well, yeah.
Probably not even that. It was probably a couple of weeks, wasn't it? He wanted to get back to golf, didn't he? But yeah, I asked, could I take a photo of Trump and Melania, and he was like, "Oh no, you can't take a photo."
they were really
It's
weird
online.
about photos.
He said it's online. I'm like, well, it might be online, but I can just take a photo right now. Anyway, regardless, it was very interesting.
The
to
gift
see.
shops were just full of hats and bags with like the communist symbol on them, and
Yeah,
Mao, and
Yeah.
so many things with Mao and his
I
face.
remember
And
taking a picture of that.
A fidget spinner with AK-47. Yes, I remember that.
And bullets behind it. There's-
If you send me that, I can put a photo on the
Yeah,
thing
I
if
will
I can
do.
be bothered. 38 minutes.
He can be bothered because we're going to make him be bothered. So,
Yeah. Something around here. Okay.
We should put photos maybe of the Forbidden City.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I will.
yeah.
I will.
Just to get
I will.
some context to people.
I shall.
Maybe a
I'll do
map
that.
of how big it is. It's
Mm.
huge. And it's
Yes.
surrounded by
A moat?
a moat. Yeah,
that was
of
completely
such.
frozen.
Again, frozen, but
Mm.
again, crazy how secluded it was from the rest of
Yeah.
Mm.
the city.
Yeah.
And then you could walk up to the, what was that? There's three on the hill.
Something
Temple of-
Park, Long Park, something like that.
Let's not
How's that one called,
upset the
Zoe?
Chinese with bad pronunciation.
Sorry to the Chinese people.
Got a picture of
Listening.
that, which we will insert now.
But it's a park.
Don't know what it's called.
And
but
it's if you climb up it, which we wasn't going to after that,
we
after
were knackered.
40,000 steps over the past 2 days, it would have killed us off. But you get a bird's eye view of the Forbidden City and again the surrounding area of Beijing, which would have been cool because the rooftops are very cool. It reminds me of like
But they're all-
Florence kind of
No, yeah, but
rooftops.
it would have been great because they're like all the same, and it would have been like this sea of just like red brick and
Yeah.
really nice to
it
see.
would have taken
But it
ages
would
to
have
get
taken
there.
about half an hour, 40 minutes just to get up there. But instead, we went to a
shipwreck
place called
museum.
Yan'an.
Yeah.
Oh,
A restaurant. We ate
Yeah.
Chinese this time, a traditional shop. We literally just had a quick Google as to what was around. It had really good reviews, and it was this really sweet little kind of indie type restaurant. It was all like writing on the walls from people that had been there and enjoyed it and stuff. And there was people from all over the world. Yeah. Got a picture of that we'll put on.
it's
And obviously we wrote on there as well. Beth, Ed, Amy, and Tom from the UK. There's people from like Boston. There's people from Singapore. There was
That sat where we sat.
Yeah.
Mad.
So
Crazy, isn't it?
And the food was pretty good.
It was very
I liked it
reminiscent
a lot.
of a place where we eat regularly.
TGP.
TGP. I'll insert a picture of that, shall I? And
We call it the TGP because
it's the good place.
the good place from the Good Place, which
The
is a show on
the
Netflix.
Yeah.
But we've become regular guests at this
Regulars.
restaurant.
We don't
Guests.
we don't
What?
eat there anymore. Really,
We
we
just
just
order it.
we order
But
the food.
They make the most westernized Chinese food, so it's
Well,
more.
I don't know if it
it's
is
easier for us.
westernised because I've never really had
I've
them.
never really had sweet pork anywhere else, and they do potatoes.
Oh, you've had like the sweet sticky pork is the only thing I can think of that's westernised, but like
Yeah.
the
there's like
tofu is not. Western,
yeah, I've never
so.
had
No.
tofu like
Rice
that,
is
or the
Western.
cauliflower, or the potatoes.
I think it's just probably what a Western person would like.
Yes.
It's very tasty.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
just
It's
good.
really
It's
good.
good stuff. It's really nice food, and it's
But anyway,
very, very cheap as well. So it's
Yeah. So little Yan'an
Back to-
was.
your nan was cute.
She was decent. It was just it was decent food,
It was a nice
and
place.
and then Forbidden City was
And then
great.
that was New Year's Eve. So
Yes.
then we went back to the apartment, had a little bit of a chill, and then got ready for our
New Year's Eve.
night
Got a
out.
drink
It was
on.
good.
It
So
was.
it took a while for the boys to find a place for us to go.
Okay. If
You
that's
guys
what you
Are
think.
you sure if that's
you
what you
guys
want
were
to
debating
say?
on Google Maps for ages.
Yeah, you see, because we do everything and then you just sit around and
I
expect
found
it
the
to
place,
happen.
thank you. It was
Exactly.
me.
The boys
What?
couldn't
That
get
was
the
down
train
to the
tickets.
No, it was the
I
Irish
got
pub.
them.
No, I was the one saying, what was it called? What was the place?
I can't remember.
Did we go there to that place?
There's like yes we did, that was because that's a district, that's the district.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
San
yeah.
Lytton.
San Lytton,
San
that's
Lytton.
it.
Sounds very
If
American.
you're ever in Beijing on a night out,
Oh god.
go to San Lytton. It
Strippers
was
left, right,
San,
centre.
It was San Lit. And
That's good.
If you want to see a good video, check out my highlights also because there is a video.
we'll
Hey,
get no. Let's
Go on.
build
Oh,
it up.
actually, you know
Let's
what? Why don't
build
I
it
just
up.
why don't you insert the video?
I shall insert the video of me looking at.
Gawping.
Yeah, gawping.
God, my
Gawping.
mouth was slightly open.
Dribbling.
Yes. So I was in awe. I won't. No, I'm joking. I wasn't in awe.
Of the
Well,
performance.
listen, hey, it takes a lot of strength to do that.
It does.
She was
Mm.
a powerhouse.
Right at the
yeah.
top of the pole.
I was just going to say she was a pole dancer because we didn't exactly explain.
No.
She was very powerful.
We'll just put the
and takes a
video
lot of
in.
skill.
Okay.
She's a powerlifter. Yeah.
Okay, the video is going in right now.
Put your cock away, Ed.
Hope you enjoyed that. And it was just really bizarre because nearly every single one of those
Chinese
clubs
bars.
had, they were all Chinese and they all, obviously, and they all had like
A dancer.
a karaoke area and a pole dancer area, and nearly every single one had a pole dancer in them.
Continuous
And then
bars.
And it was
we
couples
were
as
walking
well.
around for
It
ages,
was all
and we found this one bar that was like Western, and we saw Western people and like, this is great, but it was absolutely packed. So we kind of did a walk around, and we were like half an hour to midnight, and we were like, oh, we need to get settled, we need to sit down. So we ended up just going into the first bar that we went into.
Kind of just shoved our way in, didn't
Yeah,
we? 'Cause before
and-
it was just unbelievably ran, but I think it had calmed down a little bit by the time we got back.
Yeah.
And then
Got adopted by
yeah.
some. Well, at first I thought they were Russians, but they were Macedonians, and he was already pissed. That guy.
Shit face.
Just a big, bald Eastern European dude who
He was
like
lovely.
just telling us about how much he loved this place and that life is about love and all this jazz, and it was very funny, and they were just really nice. So.
Yeah, there was a big group of them, and there was all types of people. There was this guy with a massive beard. There was the young people. There was they were a nice group of people.
And also, just for tips, if you do go to Beijing, this place, a Coke, a G&T, a tequila sunrise, and
a beer,
a Tsingtao Chinese beer, £11. So that was real
I think
good.
That's
the thing is, though,
wait, you think that's good or bad?
Good.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's very good.
I said that was real good.
Because the first place we went to get a cocktail, and it was like
£10 for one.
Oh, no, it was £12 for a cocktail,
ridiculous.
Which is more expensive than friggin' London.
But the one thing that they do in China is they use WeChat Pay, and it sometimes doesn't work, does it? Sometimes in a crowded bar, you might just be able to sneak off.
Yeah. Who did that, eh?
Yeah, it was my round.
Yeah,
it was about.
It was literally 3 minutes. Well, I went up to the bar at 5 minutes to midnight because I was like,
what a mistake.
Right,
have a shot.
Don't die. It was my round, and I was like, I want us all to have a shot, except for Ed, who I got a Coke, obviously. And I saw the guy in front of me really struggle with his WeChat, and he kept trying to pay, and it was taking him ages. I was like, oh my god. So I got my drinks, and then the guy gave me the WeChat thing, and my WeChat just wasn't working. There was just like, if you don't have 4G, it won't work on 3G, it won't work anything. It's just very, very glitchy. And I was like, oh great. And I thought, okay, I'll try my card. And I've only just had it sorted. I've had so much card trouble, and it will say that my PIN is wrong when it's not. And it kept saying wrong PIN, and he kept saying to me, oh, your PIN's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And because it was so busy, someone else kind of like shoved next to me and was like, oh, I want this. Oh, no, it was a bunch of Russians who wanted 11 cocktails.
Nice.
So
Jesus.
he was like, 11? They were like, yes, we want 11 cocktails. So he rushed off to make them. I quickly pulled out my card and slipped off into the crowd, got a free round. So, and then it was like a minute to midnight, so we all just
and they put on a little celebration, and everyone was counting down, and it was great. And then we had the dance afterwards, and the music was great, and it was great. We got home at like then we were good. To be fair, we went to that dice place first, second, didn't we?
No,
I felt pretty trash, to be fair.
It was.
I don't know about you two.
Yeah.
And then we headed over to another bar and played a traditional Chinese dice game, which is very fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a good laugh.
You grasped it so quickly. I'm not joking. On my birthday, it took me ages to get it. I was just like, yeah, maths is not my thing.
It's a good laugh.
It's alright.
You shake, so you have... Should
If
we
you've
explain
seen,
it?
If you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, it's the game that Will Turner, his dad, and the Squid Man, what's his name? Davy Jones.
Yeah.
Davy Jones is what they play.
Squid Man.
It's like they're playing for Will Turner's escape or whatever. Like they're
you
playing
basically
for...
have to predict what everybody's dice are.
Yes.
Just
Simplistically, yeah.
So after that,
It was fun.
we were like...
It's a good film as
What
well.
about McDonald's?
We were like obviously hungry because did we eat before we went?
Yeah.
Or what did we have?
Yeah, we did.
Yunans.
We had
Oh
Yunans.
god, yeah, I forgot.
So
early
the
though.
whole street,
It
the
felt
whole
like
strip was full of LED lights, and there was that like jellyfish display as well. We got some good shots, and it was really nice area.
Oh yeah, it was very lively and a good night out. But obviously, us being British, we're like, I want chicken nuggets. So we walked to the nearest McDonald's, which was quite
15-minute walk away.
Yeah.
It felt way long.
It felt like an hour
I
walk.
thought I was walking into another dimension, and I was out of it.
So it was like a small like cubby area at the bottom for you to order, and then you go upstairs to sit down. And Beth was pretty steamed, like you were pretty drunk, and you just came down and you were like, it's so quiet upstairs, it's so weird. And I was like, what are you on about? And I followed her upstairs, and it was absolutely jam-packed full of people, and they were all asleep.
Yeah.
They were all asleep.
It was like, or if they weren't asleep, they were on their phone, and nobody was talking. Nobody was talking to each other, and nobody was kind of acknowledging anyone's presence either. And you were saying it's like an airport lounge. It was like, I don't know if you've whoever is listening, has been to a McDonald's at like 3 a.m. in the UK, there are videos of how rowdy, how ridiculous it gets. People are just, obviously because they're drunk, they're just like acting however they want. Everything's very loud. You could hear a pin drop. It was so silent. And there was just me and you, and then there was this table of like what looked to be like Indian guys.
Yeah, they were like looking at us as well.
We just caught eyes with each other and we were like, what the fuck is this? It was just so weird.
There is also a video on my highlights.
Yeah.
But
that was the last straw.
Last plug.
Well, if people want to see, they know where to go.
You've plugged it 3 times now.
All 15 viewers.
I'm just saying that's where they can go and see it.
Okay.
Do you really want to put the video
and
on?
annoyingly...
No, I don't.
Right, well, there you
the
go.
people that were asleep or that were not doing anything and not eating, hardly anyone was eating as well.
Oh, yeah, that was
they
annoying.
weren't letting us, we had food and they were like, no one was like, oh, here you go, here.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Would they? Nobody ever
I did ask one guy, I
no.
translated it and I was like, oh, what's going on sort of thing on my phone. And he just replied back, it's Chinese New Year. Oh, no, it's New Year. Yeah. And I was like, oh, right, is this just what people do?
And then we tried
they stay up all night because they don't have...
No. There was also no. It was not what happened, but like there was 2 people doing work as well with their textbooks as well.
Really?
Yeah.
At 3 in the morning on New Year's Day.
Yeah, they were just
sat
like
next to
2
us doing
girls, just like with their massive school textbooks, just doing numbers and shit. There was
a few people
Chinese
doing
education up, doesn't it? Really.
No
I think
breaks
because they had the day off the following day, they just were like, oh, I can stay up all night and. Because they're very much, they don't sleep much, the Chinese. They just don't sleep much.
Nap quite a bit.
Yeah, but if you work a 9 to 5, not a 9 to 5. If you like go to work at 8 and finish at 7, like a lot of them do, probably no time to sleep. The kids do.
Becky told us that you don't have breaks during the day if you work in a
maybe
like
an hour
company.
to eat, not even that. But you'd be working while you're eating. Like a lot of people do, but they work for 10 hours a day.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So yeah, then we got home. Oh yeah, taxi.
Tried to get a taxi. Go on, Ed.
So on WeChat you can
order
taxis from there, and I went into the queue. You get put in a queue, and I was I think the highest number we'd ever been while in Zhengzhou was like maybe 6 or 7.
Oh no, we've been at 12 before.
Okay, 12. But in Beijing it was number 85, so we were going to be waiting a very long time. But
that's why everyone was sleeping.
Yeah. But so we just like forget this, and we just ran out and got a cab from outside, which was fine.
Got home
it was still
about
like a
3:30.
£5, wasn't it? And for Beijing, that's like a £5
I know,
taxi.
they were like, it was like 50 kwai. Are you sure you want to pay that? And we were like, yeah, we'll be fine. So yeah, and then we got home at like 3:30, and then
got up at
10. Yeah, we had to leave by 12.
I got up at like 8.
Yeah, I woke up at 8:30. I had 5 hours. It was a shocking night's sleep.
So on the Tuesday, our train back was about 4:30. But we wanted to get there with plenty of time. Like they recommend you get there 2 hours before your train, which we never do. But me and Tom have. If you've listened to the Hong Kong podcast, me and Tom have already previously missed a train, so we didn't want to do that again. So we kind of thought we'll just go for breakfast, have a meal about, and then go to the train station early. But
that day,
Tom had a paddy.
I was dying to see some pandas at the Beijing Zoo because I've never seen one before.
Yeah, the paddy about the pandas.
And you can't go to China and not see a panda. And the closest ones to us
it just
are
so
at Beijing
happened
Zoo.
That I picked a mall for us to go and have breakfast at that was near the train station, and it just so happened that it was literally a 5-minute cab, not even that, like 3-minute cab to the zoo.
Yeah.
And Tom was like, I'm going to go on my own.
He actually was going.
Genuinely, and I was like, well, we'll all go.
The closest it would, if we came back to Zhengzhou, not seeing it, the closest would have been is either Beijing or Chengdu, which is like a 6-hour train away. So it was no or never. Never. So I had to do it, and then that's it.
And I'm so glad you made us do it because it was empty.
Right, and we got to see a panda, and the panda's conditions in the zoo were good, but the rest of the zoo was a bit depressing. I'm not going to lie. So to get in,
the £1.40 to get in.
It cost us £1.40 to get in, and that was with the extra price of seeing the pandas. So it's like £1 to get in, which is just not enough to maintain the animal enclosures.
No,
And
they were freezing cold. They were all huddling, like all the monkeys were huddling together.
Yeah,
The little wolf was in the corner with his head.
The wolf enclosures were terrible.
There was just like soil on the ground. There was like a log. There was like they were just separated.
It was quite small
nothing
as well.
Like how you imagine a wolf's environment to be. It was
not even anywhere near it. It was just so far from what they know, and it was so sad.
Yeah.
The only thing I like about zoos is if they're helping, if the animals are
It's rescue.
if the animals are in a good environment where they have plenty of space, and if the zoo is helping keep the species away from endangerment and extinction.
Much like pandas.
Exactly, because they're just
pandas need humans
killing themselves, really.
Like
the thing is that it was
£1.50
to get in, and it's like maybe it should have been more so that they could have more money to look after.
I wish it was more.
On the one hand, it was
great.
It was
At
great
least
to pay so little to get in. It was great, but at the same time, it's like this has got animals' lives.
Yeah.
And
the one in Zhengzhou,
it would make a big difference.
I would have paid £10 to make sure
it's
that
nothing, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's not. It's nothing for us, but for the Chinese people, 100 yuan is
how
a
much
lot
is a
of
zoo
money.
in England? £30 for an adult?
Less. Dudley Zoo was like 15 quid. 15 quid.
I think it's maybe more than 30 at Chester, actually.
Yeah, if it's a good zoo.
Yeah.
No,
how much is Flamingo Land in Hull?
Expensive, but that's got rides and stuff as well.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
still going.
Yeah, Flamingo Land.
But
Cool.
so
Anyway.
you think that you're going to be spending at least double what you earn an hour, which in China is like £7 for a zoo. And if they paid that, I think it would be a lot better, that zoo.
Well, the
It'd
one
have
in
best
Zhengzhou,
conditions.
they
Yeah,
weren't
Yeah,
allowed
press
any more
release.
pandas. Like their pandas were taken off them because they neglected one so much that it died.
which is
And there was
Yeah.
I think, I can't remember how many years ago it was quite recently, but there were viral pictures of this bear that was like, it just
So
looked
skinny.
mangy and
yes.
skinny, and they had to release a statement like, oh, the bear is fine, like, and it's like, no, it's not.
So
Yeah.
we're not going to go to
Yeah.
Zhengzhou
Yeah.
Zoo. Or
We're
we
not
could go and spend
We're not.
20 quid to get in.
We're not.
No,
we
we're
could
never going
force
to do
it
it.
and be like, just go and give your monkey some food.
No. Terrible.
Give them a banana.
So we made the zoo, which was great, and we made the train. Although Beijing train station's a bit of a nightmare.
It was really difficult to navigate. Like, not like we didn't know where the entrance was, but it was like we didn't know where to get our tickets from, because there was like the taxi dropped us off on like I'll call it the second floor, the second tier of the station, and like there was security, and normally when in China with security you need your ticket as well, and we were like, okay, let's find a ticket. And then there was the automated ticket stations where you need your Chinese ID. Obviously we don't have those, so we went down a tier, and eventually we got through to one of those kiosks, and they gave us our tickets. But
there's this woman
we were
who
getting
nervous. 20
oh
minutes
my
just to
goodness,
get
I
a bloody
forgot about
ticket.
her.
We were getting
So they
there.
had one. So maybe they had like 25 like individual windows that were unnumbered, and we went to one, and she was like, "Go to 16. That's where they speak English." So
we could have got the ticket from there. We could have got the ticket.
Yeah, I
from
think
there.
she just refused to try and help us. So we went to this
Kiosk.
Kiosk. And there was this old Chinese woman who took 20 minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, buying a ticket for the 19th of January, and she was trying to find the right price and the right seat, and it was torture.
And we was getting
we
the
had
train in
Why was she
40
at
minutes.
the English speaking?
I just
Who
think
knows? There was
that
25
that
that were
first
practically
woman
empty.
did not want to serve us.
They just
Clearly.
sometimes they just
Because
can't be asked with English people. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
when Olivia tried to get her WeChat and Chinese bank account set up, and she went to the biggest bank that she could find locally, and they were all just kind of basically had their feet up and looked at her and was like, nah. Like for no real reason, they just couldn't be bothered to help. Even though she speaks their language, it's just
next to the English kiosk. I just moved to the next one,
and they did
it within 2 minutes.
Just show them a confirmation code because you already buy it online, and then
sorted. Maybe she didn't. No, but
Anyway,
racism.
Yeah.
Train back was fun.
That was good.
Seeing the whole of Beijing with the mountains on one side and the sun setting, that was great.
play cards.
Played a lot of cards.
I watched half of Finding Nemo.
Ed had a nice little sleep.
I did.
Insert photo now.
Bang, there I am. Oh, look at me, I'm all cute. And,
all cute and dribbling.
Yeah, dribbling. So cute.
Making a noise every
Was
so
that
often.
really? Oh,
Wait, well, did he have his eyes open or closed?
Closed.
Oh, good.
The-
Why does he sleep with... Oh, God, I remember that photo.
Sometimes Ed does not close his eyes fully when he sleeps, and I was very disturbed to have him fall asleep across me in a Starbucks one time, sort of half lidded, and I was like, Ed, are you awake? I was just kind of talking to him. And yeah, maybe insert photo here if I can find
To be fair, you fell asleep as well with your mouth open.
Yeah, I always do.
Yeah,
I tried to take a photo, but you're you
mouth
were that way.
open, forgivable. Eye open, what am I doing? Honestly, that happened in when we went on holiday in Corfu. Harry took a photo of me while we were having a afternoon nap, and one of my eyes was like even wider open than I was in Starbucks. I'll see if I can get into some
Well, you might
that
not
as
have got
well.
a picture of me, but I did embarrass myself because I woke up almost on the shoulder of the girl next to me. So,
So yeah, the train back was lovely, and
It was easy. The whole trip was
easy. Yeah, we were just like so worried, and then and now we've done this. Now's the next big thing that we're going to be doing.
Just book, guys.
So
Well, should
in
we tell
China,
them? Should we tell them?
So in
Okay.
China, they have their big holidays are Spring Festival, which is in their official date is 5th
3
of
weeks
February.
away, nearly.
So at our schools, we have been given an entire month off from the 25th of Jan to the 25th of Feb. So we have just booked flights to Vietnam. We're going to book some Airbnbs along the way, but the plan is to go Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. And we've booked the Thailand back to Zhengzhou as well. So we are buzzing off our
17 days in Southeast Asia. So God help us, what will happen?
So excited.
We'll let you know on the next podcast.
Yeah.
And
it was dirt cheap, not dirt cheap, but
We'll
it was
make 2 a week.
cheap as well.
we'll make sure while we're away we'll have some podcasts ready to just be uploaded. We'll just do some random ones. We can do Western stuff talking about home or whatever, just any other maybe.
Why don't we vlog? I mean, why don't
We can
vlog?
vlog. We could do. I guess we could do a vlog for the Zhengzhou Unchained podcast.
You don't have to get all fancy. It can literally just be us.
Yeah.
We can use our phones, and then I've got iMovie on my.
I'll take my camera.
Yeah, you'll need his camera
I'll take my
definitely.
camera.
Don't forget your SD card.
When we were in Beijing.
That was convenient. Yeah, I left my SD. I left my SD card, but luckily we stumbled across a shop that sold everything. So I just bought an SD card there.
Gucci bags.
Big statues of Mao.
SD cards, a power bank.
Oh, we also in the gift shop as well. Tom, the best gift that all of us bought was Tom.
Oh,
He bought a pocket watch. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about the Mao chairman cards.
Well, I bought
they are good.
A stopwatch for Mao's 125th birthday, and then I also bought some grass from the Olympic Stadium.
Oh, that was good.
Hopefully it is genuine. I mean, just
They only made 100,000, Tom.
It's
only.
It's nice there.
It's in glass. It's like a piece of the turf from But it might just be a piece of football pitch from
around the corner.
Yeah. So who knows?
Or from a patch of the grass outside. But yeah, no. So yeah, Southeast Asia for 17 days or nights.
I'm very excited.
We are buzzing.
Our parents are not happy.
No,
They're not happy at all.
My mum's probably just heard this
Well,
and
mine
she's
are.
be like,
What?
shitting herself now
My
because
dad's well encouraged it.
That's good.
My dad's
I'm happy
My
for you.
mum's encouraged it, but she's a bit like, oh, be careful,
But-
watch what you're doing type
Yeah,
thing.
cool.
My
But
dad's like,
To put them at ease, there's 4 of us. There's only like a few million of them, so we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Airbnb and
We'll be-
WeChat.
We'll be
That's all we
fine.
need.
We're going to look after each other. We'll be safe. So yeah, that's what we got to look forward to. And of course, we will let you all know how that goes on the podcast when we get back.
Yeah. And then, sorry.
No, go on.
Well, I was just saying that we're planning on going to Shanghai as well.
Yes,
maybe
we
in
are.
March.
And maybe the terracotta army, depending if we
Oh,
have any
actually,
money.
I think we should do that not this weekend.
The week after.
The week after.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway.
Terracotta Army.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
'Cause it's
all
really
the
easy
rest
to get
of it
to.
is city, man. That
Mm.
is.
What is it, like £6 on the train?
No.
What is
It's
it?
more than that.
How
I
much?
think it's about 20. So.
Oh.
We'll have to see.
That's
We'll have
okay.
to
We'll
see.
see.
I think we have to.
We get
see
paid
Terracotta
soon.
Warriors.
It's alright.
Well,
Yeah, 15th
look
of Jan.
out for Terracotta Army podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Shall we wrap this one up?
Might
I
as
think it's
well.
been a really good one.
Yeah.
It's just been fantastic to reminisce about Beijing. It was real good. Yeah. Hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoyed it as well.
Alright. Bye.
Bye.